Okay, good afternoon everyone. How are we feeling? Thanks for sticking through. I appreciate it's after lunch and we've had a bit of a long day, but I want to get some movement in here. So I'm going to ask just a quick couple of questions because I like to know my audience and who I'm talking to. So if I could have a raise of hands to see who here in this room currently has investments in cryptocurrencies. Fantastic. I'm very, very glad to see that. Raise of hands for who here has investments in gold or silver or other precious metals. Excellent. That's great. And who here is now contemplating investing in cryptocurrencies? Excellent. I think Kerry's outside right now, but if she can see Flip inside the audience, I think that's a fantastic response. I want to also say how excited I am to actually be up here today, because it was this time last year I was at the Precious Metals Investment Symposium in Melbourne, and it was that event that actually confirmed and solidified my desire and thirst to be part of the metals industry. As Jeremy's pointed out, my background's in accounting finance. I'm a chartered accountant, worked at Ernst & Young for 8 years, but I've been working across blockchain projects for the last 2 and MetaliCoin for the last 12 months since after the PMIS day last year. And I was drawn to the project not just because of the revolutionary idea and concept behind it, and also assessing that this industry is ripe for disruption, but also because of the amazing team that we have behind us. So we've got obviously Jeremy Samuel, our CEO and founder, fantastic track record in mining, been part of gold refineries, mining capital raising. We've got our CTO, who's the other purple guy in the back of the room there, Mark Bainbridge, who's ran one of Australia's most successful bullion retailers. So I'd like to jump straight in, conscious of time. So we're talking about MetaliCoin. MetaliCoin is going to be a crypto metals exchange, and the beauty of MetaliCoin, after hearing a lot of great discussions and conversations today, is that MetaliCoin is unique in its own right and is going to bring together the best of a lot of things that the metals industry currently needs. MetaliCoin is going to improve and change the way that the world currently invests in metals. And let's talk about the current problem and why we're having a solution that fits this space. The metals market at this point in time is a $2.7 trillion market for physical metal. And it's currently a closed shop. It has high fees. It has hidden middlemen, and essentially is a metals club where you can only enter with millions of dollars or a high margin account. Now, Jeff mentioned this morning when he goes to a bar, he asks people a question about do they hold metals. Jeremy and I, when we go to conferences, we like to ask the same question. And obviously, I'm going to refrain from asking it to you guys because I know the answer, but when we ask it in a room of other investors, generally less than 10% of people in the room put their hand up to say that they have holdings in gold and silver. And then when we ask them a further question to leave their hand up if they have investments in other metals, it all goes down. So that highlights a problem currently where the greater public are not investing in precious metals, one of the oldest commodities. Yes, we can have institutions and high net wealth coming into it, but when we think about the global population and the impact that it can have and the more money that can flow in, there's a clear problem. So MetaliCoin is looking to address that by bringing metal investments to the greater public, but also to retain it within the institutional sphere. So let's talk about the opportunity that exists in what we're creating. So we're creating a crypto metal exchange. It's going to apply to the whole metal supply chain and make it accessible for institutions and individuals alike. We're going to seize an opportunity in the spot metals market, which is currently tightly held by exchanges such as the LME. We're going to cut and reduce transaction fees that we currently see. There's an opportunity to target the pre-production funding for mines, an opportunity to target concentrators, manufacturers, and the secondary metals market. When I refer to the secondary metals market, I'm referring to the sheets, the rods, the meshes, the pipes that go into the construction of our automobiles, ships, and building construction. There's no marketplace that cohesively brings producers, users together to facilitate trade. So let's continue talking about the crypto metal exchange. What it's going to be is a one-stop shop where metal assets of all kinds can be tokenized and able to be traded on a very liquid exchange. Key to the pillar of this is the decentralized nature of it, underpinned by blockchain technology, which is going to enable peer-to-peer transactions without markups, without hidden fees, wide spreads, and brokers or trading houses. Essentially, we want to create favorable trading terms, which provides for transparency and efficiency. We want to take this one step further. We've been speaking about the $2.7 trillion physical metals market, but we want to take this to the derivatives market. And that market is some 80 times that of the $2.7 trillion. Now, this crypto metals exchange, the way we're telling it to the world is it's going to be an ecosystem. It's going to be an ecosystem that consists of various parts. I've mentioned to you the exchange. An added layer to that exchange is that we actually want to have the new asset class of asset-backed metal cryptocurrencies to be actually on our exchange themselves. So we're not a competitor to all the other bullion-based cryptos or other precious metal cryptos. We actually want them to be on our exchange to provide the liquidity so people can trade amongst them. But of course, there will be a MetaliCoin token that's central to this exchange, which has certain utility rights such as dividends and features, as well as tokenized assets, metal assets, which I've been referring to, that will be on the MetaliCoin token itself. The other two pillars of the ecosystem is MetaliCoin's investment arm. So we're going to be allowing pre-production mines a new avenue of raising capital. Essentially, we're going to make the previously illiquid metal in the ground liquid, and I'll explain that shortly. The third piece is the marketplace. So the marketplace is where the metals that are part of the secondary metals market, as I've said, the sheets, the rods, the pipes, everything that goes into construction, for the producers and users to meet and facilitate transactions. So, in talking about the investment arm for pre-production funding of mines, what we want to do is create, and what we like to call it affectionately, is Kickstarter for metals. Essentially a crowdfunding platform where small to medium mining projects can raise capital by selling forward a set amount of metal at a discount for future delivery. Investors will essentially receive a discounted contract for metal in the form of a digital token. These tokens will be tied to the value of the spot price of the metal, as well as the likelihood of the mine producing the metal. So this digital token will fluctuate in price based on, over time, on the production of the mine. But the benefit here is that the investors get to choose what projects they want to invest in. There'll be a series of projects that are listed on the MetaliCoin platform, and investors will be able to pick where they want to put their money. They will also have the ability to liquidate and sell these tokens on an exchange. So an investor in a WA gold mine may want to actually liquidate that for a silver mine down in Victoria and exchange these tokens. The platform is going to be of interest not just to everyday investors, but to metal traders, dealers, anyone who wants to get access to discounted metals for the first time, which has traditionally been only available for the big global trading houses and the big banks. So to give you a quick example, we are in discussions and talks, and we're close with Montalban Mines, which is located in Victoria, a producer of silver. They're looking to raise $5 million, and the project is currently an unlisted company. They don't have sufficient net assets to list on the ASX, nor do their owners wish to incur the administrative burden or compliance overhead in listing prior to production. A very common story with every or most of the exhibitors that were in the hall yesterday. So with the MetaliCoin platform, Montalban Mines can actually sell forward $5 million worth of silver at a discount to investors. So what we're trying to create is to have mines not having to go down a route of seeking debt or having to go down a route of issuing equity, both very expensive and archaic means of raising capital. The next element of the MetaliCoin ecosystem is the marketplace that I mentioned. And again, affectionately, we have a name for it at this point in time, which is essentially like an Alibaba for metals, where it will be the world's first one-stop shop for all products, for all producers and users of various secondary metal products.
So for example, a very simple example is you might have a buyer of 100 zinc rods, 5 centimeters in diameter, and they've got excess supply, and they've got 200 in excess supply. They can essentially come on the MetaliCoin platform and sell that in a tokenized asset. So key to MetaliCoin's success will be in the simplicity and ease of use for, as I've said, the general public and not just institutions. So to engage in the platform, you'll be able to first put in either fiat currency or cryptocurrency, and that investment can go into any of the 3 pillars that we've mentioned, into mining contracts, existing spot metal, or secondary metal products. This will essentially be written in a MetaliCoin token, what your ownership right for the contract is, and you'll easily be able to liquidate that back out into fiat currency or various other cryptocurrencies. So let's talk about the blockchain and how that applies to the MetaliCoin token. So by using blockchain, we end up having a tamper-proof registry of all these rights and contracts. We are able to write in dividends, equity rights, as well as interest coupons. And as we've mentioned in the example of pre-production of metal, we can also write that down into the smart contracts. So how does MetaliCoin make money? And this is a very exciting part because we're an exchange. So, and our key is to compete against existing exchanges that are out there, such as the LME. And the 4 sources of revenue include exchange transaction fees, which we're currently looking at keeping at 0.5%. I think my slide's not just coming up. We also have, oh, I found it. So yeah, so one avenue is through exchange transaction fees at 0.5%. And any mine that's looking to list on the MetaliCoin platform, we're gonna seriously compete with the big corporate advisors at this point in time when they go through traditional routes of raising capital, and have our fees at $25,000 USD. And we'll take at this point in time a 5% of the funds that they've raised. And then the final element is in that secondary metals market, we want to keep fees low as well and have them at 2%. The slide that I had before this was talking about the platform itself. So we want to make this very easy to use. Currently, we're 2 weeks away from releasing a walkthrough demo of what the MetaliCoin platform will look like and showing a transaction of a metal purchase. And we're going to be using, obviously, the latest technology and plugging this in with AI and natural language processing. We've got financial projections that we can obviously show and disclose, but in the interest of time, I might skip over that at this point. So for the last 2 minutes, I want to talk about the exciting aspect, which is MetaliCoin's roadmap and financial trajectory. So in January, MetaliCoin did a pre-ICO where, off the back of a white paper, a lot of conferences, a lot of flying around, we raised $1 million USD. We're currently in the process of now raising $1.5 million worth via a convertible note. That $1.5 million is to get us through stage 2 and stage 3. So MetaliCoin, as Jeremy has mentioned earlier in the day, is going down a route of full regulatory process where we want to be listed as a security token. So in order to do that, we're going to actually do an IPO in Canada on the Toronto Venture Stock Exchange board. We've got an investment advisory firm out of Israel that is assisting us through this process. This will be essentially a platform to provide us with legitimacy as we go towards doing a registered coin offering. And I think we've heard a few people talk about that earlier today. And in order to do the registered coin offering, MetaliCoin is going to do a F1 filing submission with the US SEC. And that is essentially to allow us to sell to institutional investors and public investors alike. And we've had a lot of people discuss that. And there's not many cryptocurrencies that are doing that. MetaliCoin's already partway in the process of going down that pathway. Talking about the team, I've mentioned to you the amazing team that we've put in place. we've also got a fantastic advisory board that have great experience in the mining industry and tech industry. We've got Rob Gobert, who's going to be speaking after this as well, who's in the room, which is fantastic. So, and we're all here today, so feel free to come speak to us at the end of it. We'd love to have a chat and tell you more about the project. So hopefully you've seen what MetaliCoin is doing, how we're going to be different, and we're going to change the way the world trades and invests in metals. Very excited to actually have you all go home with 100 MetaliCoin. The process for that will be, we'll have to send out an email to you with instructions on how to download the MetaliCoin wallet, how to get your first tokens, and hopefully you have the same experience as Jeff did when he mentioned he remembered his first time. So thanks for listening, and thank you all.